On this Sunday morning, Fortunato climbs the hill towards his workshop. Today, he'll teach a class on how to make a leather bag. Fortunato lived many years as a cowboy in rural Peru, but eventually settled down in Cusco to start a family. Perched high above sea level, Cusco is an ancient city, once the historic capital of the Incan Empire. Not far from here, you can find Machu Picchu, a World Heritage Site. People from all over the globe come to visit this marvel. This area on the edge of Cusco is still developing as the city continues to expand. There's limited electricity and no running water in this neighborhood. Many families here find it hard to earn a steady income to improve their quality of life, so Fortunato got an idea. He wanted to equip his neighbors with a new skill: leather crafting. Fortunato's workshop is filled with tools, supplies, and handmade goods, reflecting his many years of experience in leather crafting. He invites everyone from the community to his workshop to learn this skill. Before each lesson, Fortunato shares a short worship thought. He opens the Bible to a passage he thinks God will use to speak to his visitors. Then they continue on the leather crafting lesson. Fortunato teaches his guests how to cut, glue, and sew the leather together to make a beautifully crafted bag. Throughout the class, he connects the lesson to his earlier worship thought. Fortunato believes that Christ's method of ministry is the most effective way to share the gospel with his community. Through his leather crafting ministry, he has planted multiple churches. His latest church plant is called the Loma Linda Church, which roughly translates to the Beautiful Hill Church. It's a fitting name for this location that sits high atop a hill overlooking the city of Cusco. This small congregation meets each Sabbath to dive into Bible lessons. They listen, learn, and ask questions about things they've been studying throughout the week. An important element of the church service is the music. Each week, a small group of musicians performs with traditional instruments, singing in both Spanish and Quechua, a local native language. Fortunato's brother-in-law, Ciriaco, leads the music each Sabbath. He has a ministry of his own. Much like Fortunato, Ciriaco volunteers his time to teach classes, specifically music classes. He offers both children and adult music lessons once a week, working around the people's schedules. Today's class is for children. Ciriaco loves how eager they are to learn and how quickly they grasp concepts. He starts with the basics, but over time, they're able to follow along as they sing or play various instruments. When a group has made some progress, he invites them to come play for the congregation at church. Many who come to perform return week after week to keep hearing the stories about Jesus. This congregation is continuing to grow through Fortunato and Ciriaco's outreach efforts. This quarter, a portion of your 13th Sabbath offering will help build a youth-focused community center in Cusco, Peru. This center will be a place where people can come for a variety of activities that will connect them with Adventist church members. Please pray for church planting in Cusco and throughout South America. Thank you for supporting the mission offering. Each time Nilda goes home, she's reminded of God's grace. It was just a few short years ago that her home in Salvador, Brazil, was destroyed by a landslide caused by heavy rain. This wasn't the first time her world fell apart. When Nilda gave birth to her son, Nathan, her husband left her. Nathan was born with autism and cerebral palsy, making it difficult to nurture him as a single mother. She had no money to spare because all of her money went toward medical bills and treatments for her son. After the landslide, Nilda had no money to rebuild her home. Her faith in God slipped away as she fell into a deep depression. But then a fellow church member heard what happened to Nilda's house and called for a church meeting. The local Adventist church banded together and completely rebuilt Nilda's house. They even reconstructed it to a higher standard than before to protect against flooding and landslides. They also added a second level to ensure there would always be a dry living area for Nilda and Nathan. Nilda sometimes visits the lower level where she and Nathan had lived before. This space reminds her of the rainy nights she didn't sleep, hauling buckets of water out of the rooms. Sometimes the water would flood high enough to reach her knees. The furniture was destroyed over and over again, but Nilda's greatest concern was for Nathan to get a good night's sleep. She remembers carrying Nathan up these stairs every time they needed to leave the house for his treatment or simply to buy food. It was a time when Nilda's hope was slipping, but her Adventist neighbor's compassion gave her hope again.
I saw the Lord moving in our lives as He had compassion on me and my son. I saw that they did what God teaches, which is to love your neighbors. Today, if I see a person in need, I will take the time to help them as well. This is the love the Lord wants us to exercise. They made me very happy.
Today, Nilda's house proudly displays a sign that says, Builders of Hope, a project of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The community was so touched by the generosity of the Adventist Church that they began visiting her and asking questions about it. The church members not only rebuilt Nilda's home, God also used them to rebuild her faith.
I open my doors to everyone. My house is a house of prayer for everyone in the community. The people come here to worship and sing. The things that were done in my life, I try to pass on to others. The love and compassion we need to have for one another.
Nilda is passionate about spreading the gospel. She's the leader of a small group that meets in her home every Friday night. Through this small group, many of her neighbors have given their hearts to Jesus.
I just want to thank God for what He has done in my life and in the lives of my children. May God keep using me each day through His Holy Spirit, that I may be a light and a living example to show people that Jesus is coming soon.
This quarter, a portion of your 13 Sabbath offering will help construct a church and urban center of influence in Salvador, where Nilda lives. It will also help another project in Brazil and 2 projects in Peru. Please pray for these projects as God uses faithful church members to touch the lives of people throughout South America. Thanks for supporting Mission.